Or is 21 Savage low key like playing in Lotto face? Because why wasn't he at her baby shower with her? And the only celeb that showed up really was like Angel Reese and her sister and her family.
All right, y'all, the internet is in full detective mode again, and this time it's all about Latto and 21 Savage. Because people are asking one big question right now. Did 21 Savage really skip Latto's baby shower, or is the internet just doing what it does best, jumping to conclusions? Let's talk about it. So boom, on March 19th, Latto shocked a lot of people when she officially revealed that she's pregnant. Now, this wasn't just a soft launch either. She followed it up real quick with her single business and personal, basically confirming everything in her own way. And let's be real, people had already been speculating for years about her relationship with 21 Savage. We're talking rumors dating all the way back to around 2020. Low-key sightings, hints and lyrics, subtle posts, the whole we know but we don't know type situation. But then recently, she pretty much confirmed it publicly. So now the internet is like, okay, if he's the father, where is he? Now fast forward to the baby shower. Latto's family threw her what looked like a beautiful, intimate event. Decorations were on point. She looked good, glowing, happy, everything you'd expect. But here's where things got messy. The only clips that surfaced online came from her dad. And guess what? 21 Savage was not seen in those clips. That's it. That's literally what sparked this entire conversation. Now, social media being social media, people instantly ran with it. He didn't show up. He's hiding. This is embarrassing. But let's pause for a second, because here's what a lot of people are ignoring. We only saw 2 short clips. The event looked very private, and there's barely any footage online at all. So the real question is, are we missing context? There are actually a few possibilities here. First, and probably the most realistic one, Latto may have intentionally kept this event private. And when I say private, I mean locked down. No phones, no posting, maybe even NDAs. Because it's very strange that in 2026, a celebrity baby shower only has 2 clips floating around. That doesn't just happen by accident.
Playing in Lotto face. Because why wasn't he at her baby shower with her? And the only celeb that showed up really was like Angel Reese and her sister and her family. So I think that's hella weird, and this goes back to the whole situation with him being a married man, because I feel that situation is the reason he doesn't really want to be seen publicly with her. And everybody's saying they're not married, but if they're not married, then why can't he show his face with his new baby mama? And if he is married, then if he did it just for papers, then why does it matter? Like, she literally having a baby. So it's not like he's respecting the marriage. So I just feel it's weird that he wouldn't show up to her baby shower. But I do know in the South and other places, like sometimes the man doesn't show up.
Second possibility, 21 Savage could have been there, just not in the clips we saw. There's even a blurry photo going around where people are claiming you can see the side of his head in the corner. Now, is it actually him? That's debatable, but it does show how far people are going to prove a point. Now let's talk about the part that's really fueling this narrative. The secrecy of their relationship and 21 Savage's personal life, because a lot of people are bringing up the fact that he's reportedly been married and has kids. Now, to be clear, the exact details of that situation are not fully confirmed publicly right now. We don't know if he's still actively in that relationship, if they're separated, or if it's just a private arrangement. But the perception, that's what people are reacting to. And perception online can be loud. Some people are saying, if you're having a baby with her, why not be visible? Others are like, maybe they just don't want their relationship on display. And honestly, both sides kind of have a point, because let's not forget, 21 Savage has been public in past relationships. When he was linked to Amber Rose, they were outside, events, appearances, photos, so naturally people are comparing that energy to what's happening now. But here's another angle people aren't talking about enough. In some cultures and regions, especially in parts of the South, it's actually not that unusual for the father to not be heavily involved in the baby shower itself. Sometimes it's more of a women-centered event. So again, context matters. At the same time, though, you can't ignore how it looks. An image, that's everything in the public eye, because from the outside looking in, people are seeing a high-profile rapper having a baby with a man who is rarely seen with her, and now possibly missing a major moment. And that's where the speculation comes from. But here's where things get even more interesting. There's also a group of people online defending them hard, saying things like, y'all are doing too much. She already told you who the father is. They don't owe you visibility. And honestly, that's valid too, because at the end of the day, we're talking about real people, real relationships, real decisions, and not everything is meant to be played out on social media. But let's be real for a second. When you're at this level of fame, privacy and public curiosity are always going to clash. That's just the reality. So here's the big question I want to ask you. Do you think 21 Savage actually skipped the baby shower? Or do you think this is just another case of the internet creating a narrative without full information? Because right now, we don't have proof either way, just clips, assumptions, and opinions. Now, when it comes to how the media and social platforms reacted to this situation, it really highlights something deeper about how celebrity culture works today, especially in the era of hypervisibility and instant judgment. The moment those baby shower clips surfaced, blogs, reaction channels, and social media pages immediately picked up the story and began framing it in a very specific way. Not as a question, but almost as a conclusion. The absence of 21 Savage in a few short clips quickly turned into headlines suggesting abandonment, secrecy, or even disrespect. And what's interesting is how fast that narrative spread without any confirmed details. This is a pattern we've seen repeatedly where limited visual evidence becomes the foundation for a much bigger story. In reality, what we're seeing is the power of perception overriding facts. Because in a digital environment, what people don't see often becomes just as important or even more important than what they do see. Another layer to this is how audiences project expectations onto celebrities based on past behavior. Since 21 Savage has been publicly visible in previous relationships, many people assume that the same standard should apply here. But relationships evolve, people change, and circumstances are never identical. The public, however, tends to view consistency as authenticity, so any deviation from what they expect raises suspicion. At the same time, Latto's position as a successful independent woman also plays into the conversation. There's a narrative forming around whether she is being hidden or whether she is choosing privacy on her own terms. That distinction is important, but it often gets lost in online debates where people rush to assign blame or create drama. Then there's the role of gossip platforms and commentary channels, which amplify speculation because it drives engagement. The more controversial or emotionally charged the angle, the more attention it gets. This creates a cycle where assumptions are repeated so often that they begin to feel like facts. And once that happens, it becomes very difficult to shift public perception, even if new information comes out later. What's also worth noting is how divided audiences are. On one side, you have people criticizing 21 Savage and questioning his presence or commitment. On the other side, you have fans defending both him and Latto, arguing that privacy should be respected and that not everything needs to be shared online. This split reflects a broader cultural tension between entitlement to celebrity lives and respect for personal boundaries. From an analytical standpoint, this situation is less about whether he attended the baby shower and more about what his absence or perceived absence represents to the public. It taps into themes of visibility, accountability, and relationship dynamics in the spotlight. It also shows how quickly narratives can form in the absence of complete information. And ultimately, it reminds us that social media often fills in gaps with assumptions rather than facts. Until either Latto or 21 Savage chooses to clarify things directly, everything remains speculative. But in today's media environment, speculation alone is enough to sustain a full-blown conversation, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. If you made it this far, I need to hear from you. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to Speculating West TV, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss any updates. And remember, in situations like this, there's always more than what meets the eye. I'll catch you in the next one.